Hello friends, welcome back to Art with Mr. Eck. So today we've got a lot to learn. So today we're going to be talking about three things: symmetry, form, and motion or movement in art. First off, symmetry is when you're looking at a thing and you can divide it right down the middle, and this side perfectly matches this side. If they don't match, then it's called asymmetrical. But if the two sides do match perfectly, like a mirror image, it's called symmetry, or you can say that the thing is symmetrical. Today we're going to be making an artwork featuring people, and humans, in general at least, are very symmetrical. If you look at it straight on, if you were to take a picture of me and draw a line right down the middle, I've got an eye here and an eye here. Symmetrical. I've got an ear over here, got another one over here, same size, symmetrical. So the subject matter we're working with today is very symmetrical, just in general. And then the other thing we're going to learn about is form. Form, hopefully if you've been in my class, you know recently that form is anything that is 3D. So we're going to be making a kind of sculpture today. So that is a 3D artwork featuring form. And the last thing is movement. And in sculpture, the way you show movement is all about the pose. You have to pose your subject, in this case we're going to be making a person, in a way that implies movement. Statues don't move. They're very not moving. But by giving an interesting pose, you can imply a lot of movement. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. So we're going to be making a sculpture out of something you have around your house, most likely aluminum foil, and we're gonna need a marker. I'm gonna be using a Sharpie, but if any marker is fine. What we're gonna be drawing will not show up on the finished artwork. So you're gonna draw, let's just say this is my square foil. This is a mini version, but we're gonna draw these lines. At the top you need two lines up here, one line on the sides and one on the bottom. So two on the top, one on each side and one on the bottom. And I've labeled this. You don't have to label it if you don't want to, but it just helps me remember what is what. So this will make more sense in just a moment. Let's go ahead and get to the overhead cam and you'll see what we're doing. So I've got a square of aluminum foil here. It's about 12 inches by 12 inches. It's not a perfect square, but it's pretty close. And so now I'm going to recreate what I drew on this little piece of paper on my foil. So I need two lines up here, one line on the side, one on this side, and one on the bottom. And I'm going to label this, and I'm going to cut these lines with a pair of scissors, all time-lapse to save time, and then I'll show you how we're going to crunch this up into the shape of a person. Now it's time to start crunching this into the shape of a person. Now, before we get started, this is very important. You want to crunch very lightly. That way, you still have some wiggle room. If you crunch foil as hard as you can, then it's going to get very compacted and tight. And if you make a mistake, you can't really pull it back apart to do something different. You'll have to get a new piece of foil. So start very lightly squeezing the foil. That way, if you need to make an adjustment, you still have the ability to do that. So what I like to do first is to gently grab the legs and just kind of wad them up, crunch them in your hand. You want to still keep them long, so they're legs, but that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do any more than that right now. Then I'm going to crumble up the arms and the head and then the body. So you end up with something that looks like this. Just a very basic human shape. Alright, this, when you get it to about this shape, this is when the posing comes into play. So I need to decide what kind of motion I want my sculpture to show. One of my favorites is running, because you can really get a great sense of motion like that. So when people run, they don't run straight up and down, they lean forward. So I'm going to lean my guy forward, and one arm is going to be bent like this, and the other one is going to be bent behind him like this. I'm going to crunch that head up a little bit, and then I'm going to squeeze the neck, because the neck is skinnier than the head. And then usually whatever this arm is doing, like if this arm's forward, this is his right arm. Right arm is forward, the right leg is usually back. Left arm is back, then left leg should be forward. Like this, so he's coming together. At this point, since I'm finalizing where everything is, I'm going to start squeezing a little bit tighter to get his body more like I want it. I'm going to lean him forward because that's how people do when they run. Put this arm back. If the foil tears, get a little bit of tape, or if you have your parents' permission, hot glue, in my opinion, works best, but be very careful because it's very easy to burn yourself. And there you go. I think this is a pretty good sculpture of a guy running. And then all I have left to do is to find some kind of a base, because this guy's not going to stand up on his own. So I recommend just a square of cardboard, maybe 4 or 5 inches by 5 inches, like a square, and then put a little hot glue or some other kind of glue, and then stick him down on there and let him dry. And then what I like to do is get some kind of light source, like a flashlight or any kind of lamp, and see where the shadow is under your guy, and then trace it, and then fill it in with Sharpie or black marker or just pencil. And I really think that adds to the effect of the 3D running man, or whatever motion that your sculpture is showing. So I hope you enjoy making your 3D formed sculpture featuring a symmetrical human. Maybe not symmetrical when he's running, but humans are symmetrical when you look at them. Anyway, have a good time. If you mess up, just get another piece of foil or fix this one if you can, and enjoy exploring form and art. See you next time, friends.